Oh my gosh, I was saying that this looks like a potato chip. It looks like a Pringles wavy Lay's. How funny. Hey, it's Cassie, and today I'm back for another beginner recipe. I am going to be attempting to make a 100% olive oil soap, or otherwise known as a Castile soap. As you guys know, I'm a beginner, just trying out soaping. I started in October, and I've been working my way through Jan Berry's natural soap making book. Now, the reason why I'm making this is because I have a friend who is sensitive to fragrances, and she said since she was in high school, she's been using the Oil of Olay white soap bar, you know, that's unscented for sensitive skin. Now, I use that soap bar myself, and you know, it's just, it works. It's unscented. It's just not a fun experience, and to me, I feel like it's not very nourishing to my skin. My skin is often dry, and I know that it makes my husband's skin very dry, especially when he uses it on his face, which I know he shouldn't be, but he doesn't listen to me. So I thought I would give this soap a try. Many people describe it as a very mild cleansing bar that is great for sensitive skin. It's very nourishing. It has a silky, smooth, creamy, low lather, meaning that it has very small bubbles, and it's just very creamy and kind of mild. Now, those are the benefits of this soap, but the cons is that once you make it, because you've used you know, a very soft oil that is liquid at room temperature, it takes 6 months to a year to cure. That means that it takes that long for the water that's in the soap to evaporate out of it. So it is a hard bar of soap that won't melt away in your shower when you're using it. So we're gonna put a lot of time and effort. I'm a small soaper. I don't have a lot of room or space to be storing these kind of bars, but for my friends and family, it's worth it. So since I'm gonna invest 6 months to a year into the soap, I decided to make an unscented, uncolored version of the soap. So I hope you're ready to see what happens, and why don't we get started? All right, so something new for this video is that I am going to try to make my olive oil soap using these Pringles cans to get them ready to be able to use for soap. You have to do a little bit of a process. The bottoms apparently are aluminum, and you have to cut them off because it can rely poorly with the soap. And then actually you want to use the tops as your bottom so that the soap doesn't leak out of it. And then also something else new for this go round is I actually went out and purchased freezer paper. Up until now, I've been using parchment paper, which has been working fine. It's just the parchment paper is a little bit thin, and sometimes if the soap gets really hot, the parchment paper wrinkles within the soap and makes little lines. It's nothing too terrible. It just adds a little bit of a texture. It's more of a cosmetic thing and a personal preference. None of my friends or family have complained or probably even noticed that the parchment paper gives that little bit of a texture. But everybody says that you're supposed to use freezer paper, so we're gonna go ahead and try freezer paper for the first time. And I'm gonna go ahead and use a knife to cut this bottom off. If you are young, probably don't do this without adult supervision, and just be careful not to cut yourself. No, look what I did. Struggling. It'll still be okay. It'll still be fine. I do? How do I do this one-handed, Brian, come help me. I need an extra pair of hands. I've got Pringle hand.
Better or worse than Cheetos finger?
I don't know. I need a piece of tape to tape this. I'm sorry. Don't splash it on yourself. Just make sure it's not gritty, and here, put the lid on it. Awesome, here's the lid. Yeah, just go in there, be careful with that small line.
Screw it on or just leave it loose? Because it's loose?
Yeah. Thank you, I appreciate it. It seemed like it would work in my head, but then it didn't. I need 2 containers so I can make 2 live batches. So this batch of olive oil soap I am making for my sister-in-law and a really good friend of mine who have dry skin but are sensitive to fragrance oils and might be sensitive to colorants and stuff like that. So I am using some last of my extra virgin olive oil that I have and not doing anything else to it, just making it a 100% olive oil soap. And now I really like watching the soaping channel on YouTube called I Dream in Soap, and I can't remember her name right now. I think it's Lisa, but what she does is she she gave some advice on when you're making small batches of soap like I am. She says it's better to not move your stick blender because that creates too much bubbles. And for people who've been watching me in my last couple of videos, I ran into issues where I was spraying I was spraying batter everywhere and just making a lot of bubbles. And so she said, only run your blender when you have it straight and then actually stir the batch when it's not running. So it's actually been working really well. So that was a great bit of advice from her. And I'm not sure if you can see because I've got some interesting lighting going on in here. I use natural lighting from my windows and it is a little bit in the afternoon here, so I don't have the best of light. But the color of the soap, of the batter is changing quite a bit. I'm still not very good at spotting emulsion and trace and all of that. So I may be over blending, but that is okay because I'm not doing anything fancy with this. So it is getting thicker and definitely at emulsion, but I haven't spotted trace yet. It's a little bit difficult because there's a shadow on half of my batter. So I'll adjust that for the next one that I make. But I think I'm gonna blend it just a little bit more. Oh yeah, it's definitely getting thicker. That was a great piece of advice she gave me because I was just struggling and I was spraying that batter everywhere, all over. I've got, my husband works for a surveying company and you know, they print out big maps and stuff of the plots of land that they're working on, and he brings it for me to put on the table to recycle it, you know, so it doesn't go to waste. And it was just covered in oil. So this is working really awesomely. Definitely at light to medium trace that I can see. You probably can't see it, but I can see that it is leaving some on top, but I'm gonna go a little bit further because I'm just gonna put it straight in the can and I'm worried about it leaking out of the can. So in my head, if it's a little bit thicker, it'll be less likely to leak, in theory. So we'll see if that works. Oh my gosh, this is going awesomely. So far I've made a 100% tallow oil bar, which I barely had time to stick blend before it got really thick. I've made a 100% coconut oil soap, which was so awesome. Like it got to trace so fast. And I've made a Castile soap twice, which to me, I had just so much trouble you know, getting it to trace. Maybe it was because I didn't know how to spot trace. I wasn't blending it right. And I thought this olive oil was gonna take forever to get to trace. But like this is really quick, maybe 5-10 minutes I've been stirring and it's already at a medium trace. You could probably pour it now, but I'm gonna go just slightly thicker. And I did soap hotter. I soaped with my oil temperatures being at 112 and my lye temp being at 111. So before I did this, I did a lot of research. Oh yeah, I'm just having a hard time seeing with this light situation I have going on here. Anyways, I did a lot of research and I looked at 2 blog sites that gave tips on how to make 100% olive oil soap, and one of them said to soap hotter than 112, Another one said to soap lower, so I just went in the middle and picked the in-between temps. And then also I am soaping at, I believe, a 33% lye concentration. I'm gonna call this good because I'm definitely at trace. Yep. Even though it's just a little bit, but it's definitely there. And I'm gonna go ahead and put this in my mold. I wish I was a little bit more confident. Like, I feel like this is ready, this is good to go, but I mean, my head is telling me like it couldn't have been that fast and easy, you know? But I am seeing trace, and you know, that's all you need apparently, so I'm gonna call this good. Let's see if I can show you. Sorry, I don't have good lighting. So let me go ahead and put this in to my mold. Make sure that my lid is on there, nice and tight. Let's pour it in. Oh shoot. That filled it all the way up to the tippy top, and I forgot to get my extra little molds on the side in case I had extra. So I Lisa from My Dream and Soap also does a video on how to calculate how much batter for your soap molds, like how to adjust recipes to fit. And I did that, and I thought I did it right, but you know, it looks like I was slightly off. Shoots, I definitely have a lot more than I anticipated. So I'm just gonna weigh this and make note of how much the bowl weighs. I got these awesome little molds from my mom for Christmas. So I'm just gonna go ahead, since I'm not planning on using them anytime soon, because, ooh, that would have been terrible. I just almost spilled that everywhere. Because they have bees on them, and I think they're more like spring/summer type of soap. I think I'll go ahead and use this. But you know, once I fill it, it's gonna be not very sturdy, and I don't have anything to put it on, Brian. Shoots. Was not prepared for this. It's getting thick, but still pourable. That was coming down. I should have put it in the center. Wow, that looks nice and creamy. I do not like this spray because it like hoses my soap down with alcohol. I gotta like do it from a million miles away. Okay, so let me move this out of the way. Okay, one down. I got just a little bit of soda ash on the top of the unscented, uncolored olive oil soaps. I believe that is soda ash. It's that little bit of white film you can kind of see. Or it might be from my alcohol, which just kind of streamed out of my spray bottle when I spritz these. Now the natural ones, I put them in the mold and then I put them on top of styrofoam in a styrofoam cooler that had been sent to me over the holidays with some goodies in it. So I thought I would use that to help gel these. And now I finished making these yesterday at around 5:30ish, and it is the next day it is 12:30, and I noticed that these little bars are already pulling away from the mold. So I am going to go ahead and try to unmold these and see how it came out. So these that were unfragranced, I had no issues with. It was a lovely soaping experience. I reached trace relatively quickly. It was a lot of fun. Ooh, but look what I did. You can see how soft it still is. I mean, it unmolded, but I got that with my nail. Look how pretty that looks. Oh my God. It's so pretty. I'm gonna have to be careful with my nails. So there's that one. Here's another one. Oh, it looks so pretty. I'm getting fingerprints all over these easily. These are popping out a whole lot easier than the other ones. Oh, look how cute. This one's my favorite bar. Look how creamy it is, and it just makes that little design pop. All right, so I am going to be unmolding and cutting my olive oil soaps. So they're in their Pringles cans, which I lined. Just an update on how they did. This is the unscented, uncolored version, and I put it into the mold. When I put it into the mold, it was a little bit thinner, and I noticed that as it was setting, it had leaked everywhere, and it had had some oils that kind of leaked out of the soap. So what I put it back on for you guys to see, but what I did was over the past 2 days, I took the bottom and the cling wrap film off of the bottom of the mold, and I left it sitting like this in front of a dehumidifier, and all of the oil that had pooled in these little spots right here like disappeared and soaked back into the soap. Now it did leak, and it leaked about this much soap from the bottom. And now the reason why I think it did that is because when I poured the soap into the mold, I picked it up and I went like this to get the air out of it. And I think when I did that, you know, I loosened it. I probably shouldn't have done it. Let's get this unmolded. It doesn't look like it seeped out of anywhere else in the container, which is good, because I was worried the whole thing would end up being like this. So that's good that it did not. So let's see if we can get this out of the mold. Oh, yep. Now I thought that I was gonna have to leave this in here for 2 weeks, but I did not. The inside of the can, let's see if you can see it. Can y'all see that? There's like bubbling in the inside of the can where the soap leaked out of the freezer paper and touched the inside lining of the Pringles can. It's not leftover. I mean, some of it is leftover soap, but looking at it, it caused like the inner lining to like bubble up. Weird. Seems like I'm gonna have quite a bit of waste because look at how much seeped out of the lining. I don't know why it did that. It is coming off the freezer paper fairly easily. Well, I'll see if I can get this off later and save it. Oh my God, I'm just wielding this giant knife. Don't do what I'm doing, you could slice your finger. I see why the professionals use one of those cutters with the wire on it, but I'm just a beginner and I don't have all of that, so we're gonna make do with what we can. Am I right? Right. Nice. Oh, I'm excited. No, they're not gonna be perfect. Perfectly imperfect. Oh my God. Ooh, look, you can kind of see that it gelled. That is so nice. I'm gonna cut the other end with the crinkle cut. It makes me, it looks like a potato chip, like a Lay's potato chip. Other one. See if I can do this straight. Oh, I think it was crooked. Dang it. Yeah, this one I did crooked. Ooh. Look! There was some air bubbles. It was hard to get them out. Okay, so this one's gonna be a little bit wonky too because I am not cutting these straight up and down. Yay! Oh, bummer. I am sorry. I just realized the camera was recording out of focus. So I already have cut a couple and it came out awesome. So I'm using this crinkle cutter and it is going through fabulously. And I'm trying to cut as straight as I can, but I'm having a hard time. Look at that. It looks so nice. I'm trying to decide if I should bevel these edges. Probably not, because then it'll get rid of this crinkle cut. But that's awesome. So I can't cut and talk at the same time, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put some music on and finish up cutting this little batch. Oh my gosh, I was saying that this looks like a potato chip. It looks like a Pringles wavy Lays. How funny.